Hello?
Hey,
Hey,
how are you doing?
good.
Good to hear. So, I watched this earlier, and I've got to say, you made some progress. There's sort of a humming noise coming from your end. Do you know what that is?
Huh?
There's sort of a humming noise coming from your end, and I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Yeah, I think it's my speakers.
Oh, I mean, like, we can keep going if you want, or like we can figure that out. It's up to you.
Here, give me a second and I'll change. I just got a new thing, and so let me change it back to the old one because it wasn't doing that before. You there?
Yep, I'm there. So, are you ready?
Hey, Brody, you there?
Yep, I'm there. I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Tyler, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had the volume down on my Chrome
Oh,
for some reason. It was down.
well, at least it's working now. So, let's get started.
So, like I was saying, I was looking at this earlier, and you've made a lot of progress. Like,
Yeah.
this is, I think, at least 2 seconds faster than before, and your fundamentals are really solid. So we're actually probably going to breeze through the first few solves. There is some stuff I spotted towards the end of the average, but the first half or so is really nice. So
yeah. Actually, the funny thing is that those solves right there were the first solves I had done all day. So I was a little bit lucky and all that.
Wow. I mean, I did see some locking up, and like that makes sense when you see how fast you're turning. But a lot of what I saw is that most of the time you're very, very efficient, but sometimes if you can't find anything, then you will just solve whatever you see, even if it's not very efficient.
Yeah.
So right here, your cross was really nice. I might have done like an extra move to move one, just because that's probably what my first pair would be. But you have this blue and orange pair. This blue and orange pair is a good first pair. So you solve that, and then you have green and orange, and that's very nice as well. And then you rotate and do. So I think this is the one F2L case that I saw you that you could be a little bit more efficient on, and I saw this a few times in the average, is that from here you can do an extra U move, and then L prime UL would separate these, and then you can insert them. And that's something that I saw a few times through the average, so I think that's just realized, but it's going to be really easy to fix now that you know. And then you go straight into this pair, and that was all very nice. And Olel.
There was a lockup.
Yep. Well, I mean, we're at quarter speed, so sometimes things that look like big lockups here aren't that big in the real solve. But yeah, end perm, and you had some nice finger tricks for this. And so that was, sorry, I need to check the time. That was a 19.4. So actually, like, we don't really need to look at what the times were. It's more about like what happened on the solve, because there weren't any super lucky skips or anything. So it's mostly about this skill here. Pretty easy cross. Yep. Very good. And then let's see. So here, blue and red pair is the obvious choice, and then that might be the green and red pair, but I'm not sure. So you solve that. It didn't work in this case, but it's good that you're trying stuff like that, because like when you figure out when it's going to work sort of instinctively, then that can be really fast. So even though that didn't quite work on the first try, that was good. So you take that out and solve that, and that's good. That's probably what I would have done. And then that sets up this pair very nicely, and you spot that really quickly. And that F move insert actually sets you up really well to solve.
Yep, and this is where I can't figure out where the piece is.
Oh, yeah.
I hate when the corner's automatically in its place.
Yeah, those are some, even though like that's the case that we all saw in the beginner's method, that it's really hard when it's in F2L. So then you do your 2-look. That's all good. And then you do your U-perm, which is nice. And like there's just a huge improvement, because if this were the first session that we did months ago, then when you got this U-perm, I'm basically certain you would have cube rotated and then done the U-perm and then solved it, and now you can do that without the cube rotations. So that's a very nice improvement. And then, so really the only thing so far is that one F2L case that I told you about. If you have, and I'd say you're at the point where if you have any more advanced questions or want to learn anything more advanced, feel free to ask me about it and I can explain it as well as I can. So this cross looks a little bit harder, but still not too bad. Okay, very good. That's what I would have done as well. And then that sets you up really well with green and orange, and then green and red is right there as well. So you do green and orange. Very nice. And then you spot that really well. So you have really solid fundamentals here. Here's like the one thing. So you finish this green, you finish this blue and orange pair, and your edge is right here. Now, if I were you in this situation, I know that when I'm done with this pair, I will have my edge right here and the corner right there, and I can just go straight into doing RU to R prime and connect them. And that sort of knowing that ahead of time avoids doing this cube rotation just to check.
Yeah.
See, then you cube rotate back and you do that. And then here, I think this is another case where I think you did cube rotate, and I know you don't have to. So yeah,
I think the reason why I did cube rotate is because I wanted to save that solved edge. That way, it was a really easy case for the corner to insert.
So let's see.
Like the reason why I cube rotated back is so that orange or that red and green edge would stay in that spot.
So let's see. So you were going to cube rotate and solve that using this slot, and then you saw that. Okay, that makes sense. But in this case, I didn't need to cube rotate at all. So ideally here you just do RU to R prime. So you saw that. It's good that you're thinking ahead about preserving that kind of stuff. That's going to be really helpful going forward. And so here's another case where I'm not sure if it's just thinking further ahead than your. See, you actually don't have to cube rotate for this either. Your corner's right here. You can do a U2 and then connect the pair with R prime UR. So they're basically, when the edge is solved in its slot, you would never need to cube rotate, no matter what kind of position the corner's in. And so that's sort of a good rule of thumb. Then you get a really nice OLL. And I think this is going to be a J. No, this is going to be an A perm. And In general, do you have trouble recognizing A-perms quickly sometimes?
Sometimes I do, depending on how they're set up and everything. But
yeah,
I get them all mixed up sometimes with the G's whenever there's not a couple corners or whatever solved, so I can look off of.
So with the A-perms, it can be kind of difficult because both of the A-perms look like each other. The A-perms look a little bit like the V-perm, and I remember I used to have an issue where from one specific angle, one of the A-perms looks like a G-perm, and I used to get that all mixed up. Basically, like, I can't really explain two-sided PLL recognition, but it might be something worth looking into or practicing, because sometimes you'll find that you just know it instinctively. But of course, you know that for A-perms, you've got the 2x2 block, and then depending on which A-perm it is, this corner will either be opposites here or not. And two-sided PLL recognition is getting into some really fancy stuff. So it's not something you need to worry about too much unless it's really interesting to you. So that was Salt 3, I think. Yeah, you're getting lots of nice crosses here. Let's see what you do here.
I know my times have been going down now that I've been using the cubicle timer. There must be something in their scrambles.
I haven't been using the cubicle timer, actually. How is it?
I like it. I've switched from CS to it.
Like, I would switch, but I have thousands of solves logged into my... And I even though I know it doesn't really matter, I don't want to like lose all of my PB sessions and stuff.
Yeah, that's the way I was, but I got a new computer, and so I haven't built up enough solves to really care.
That's a good point. So you solve that. So this solution is good. There's one other way you could do it that's basically the same, so it's not really worth pointing out, but that was good. So here's the first sort of situation here when you finish your cross, where you sort of just do something because you see some pieces instead of really thinking it out. So you have your green and red right here, and you take it out like that. What you could do, I went back a little bit too far, but that's not a problem. On front here, if you move this edge over to here and take out the corner with L prime, U prime, L, and that will set up the pair. Or when you cube rotate, you can do a U prime, so the edge is in the back, and then do R U prime, R prime to take out the corner, and that will also set up the pair. So I'd say, in general, and this is something that will come into play a few more times in the average, one of the things you can work on is making sure that everything you do is deliberate and somewhat efficient. Because, like, even if you have to pause to do it, making sure that you're always making an efficient decision means that then you can get rid of the pause later as you get better at look ahead. It's easier to fix a pause than it's easier to fix a pause later than to switch your muscle memory after you've been doing something for a very long time. So here's that same F2L case again. So we've gone over that. We don't need to go over it again. And here you've got you've got this edge insert with blue and orange. And then with blue and red, you've got this pair. Let's see. That's actually cool. Let's set up both of your pairs. Then you insert that. Have you started doing sledgehammer at all to orient edges?
No.
That's something that can be really, really helpful. So if you insert this pair with a sledgehammer instead of the regular insert, then you have a 2-look OLL, and then that's already faster than the other OLLs, and it can lead into things like ZBLL once you start to learn some of that. So that can be useful, but it's not a huge deal in that case. But there is one case later in the average where you could have done a sledgehammer, but you didn't, and it gave you a dot OLL. And
Yeah.
that's a case where it matters a little bit more. So 2-look, and then solve that. And then you get an R perm.
I've been getting a lot of those lately.
Yeah, I think they're one of the more common ones, but I don't know the exact math. Oh, and that was actually really cool there. You did this F with your left index finger right here. I've never seen that. That's really nice. So it's good that you've already learned some of these fancy finger tricks, because that just means when you get faster, it's already going to be really solid. Then on this solve, another easy cross. And then options here. So here's a case where it looks like you were about to just pick out this corner, and then you decided to wait and look for something, and then you spotted that pair. And so that actually worked out really well. And then you got green and orange, I think, is going to be your next one. Wait, okay. So, again, you were trying to connect green and red, and you needed to go the other way, but that would have messed up your pair. So then you fix that. And here, let's see. So both pairs are pretty easy here. So, yeah, you do that one. That's good. And then you solve that pair. So that's all good. And then this is an OLL. I'm actually kind of surprised that you don't know. So from this angle, it's F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, so that's just another one of the really easy ones. And so that's just, you've got this L shape, and then you've got these two yellow stickers right here. That's the recognition, and then it's just that algorithm. And then actually, wait 1 second. So do you know the RNU algorithm for this OLL?
I used to know it, but once I found the F, RUR prime, U prime 3 times, and then F prime, I forgot it.
Oh, I mean, like, they're both about the same, so that works out. If you start learning COLL, then you'll know them both and then know when each of them is more useful. Then that's good. And then you've got another R perm. And it's really nice that you've got those double flicks with your left hand along with your right hand. It's a very nice habit to have. Okay, here is. Okay, this scramble looks a little bit more difficult. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, there's the blue. So actually, this one's not too bad, but it's a little bit counterintuitive, I think.
While I was watching that, I found a better solution, actually.
Let me do the scramble. That one. Which one is that? That's. Why don't you tell me what it is? Let me find the beginning. So what do you see as the better solution?
Right there, if I could redo that, I would probably do an F prime, L, F2, D prime, and then L and R2, I think. Yep. Is the blue one solved? It just needs to be an R2 to put it in?
Yeah, the blue one's on top there. So that's actually what I would have done as well. So it's very nice that you spotted that. And that takes advantage of placing red across from green, or placing red across from orange, and then lining them up afterwards. So that's a very nice thing to spot.
And then I also noticed the pair there that I could have saved.
Yeah. And I mean, that would have been good, but if you didn't spot that already and that sort of catches you off guard, then it's not a huge deal if you don't do it. And it looks like there are some other pairs that are okay. Like you've got blue and red here. That's probably what you're going to do. Actually, okay, then you connect that. So I think you did spot it, and then you solved it right here. And then you solve that. And you've got an easy pair here, easy pair here, and then you've got the edge insert with with red and green. So let's see, you do blue and red. You catch yourself there, that's good. And you're gonna have all your edges oriented as well. Oh, okay. So
I could have done a U2 and probably done that a lot better.
So if we go through that again, so this is the same F2L case that that I've been showing you. So you can do a U here.
Well, what was that again? I'm sorry, you're breaking up on me, kind of.
The case that you got the pair right here. You do U prime, L, U prime, L prime, U, and then L, U, L prime. And so that's what I would do. You could also, like, if I were doing the solve, I can actually show you. I might also take advantage of the fact that this slot is empty, and you could do U, R, U prime, R prime to disconnect them and set them up. So that's just another way of doing this case. That you
And I
solve
ended
that.
up going all the way around the cube, did a U3.
Yeah, but it looks like you, assuming that you spot this and just solve it normally, you're going to get all of your edges oriented. So yep, you spot that.
Why did I cube rotate for that?
I'm not, well, I mean, we are going at quarter speed, so sometimes things like it looks like you missed something obvious that went by really fast. But yeah, that's something that you should start to spot. And then with look ahead, that will get a lot easier to spot. Then you get soon. So your last layer kind of makes up for it because you get soon and it gives you a U-perm. So I think that's sort of an example of what I said, how when you don't spot something right away, then you tend to just do something, usually cube rotating, but sometimes it's moves as well, just so you can see something. But it's better to just wait and see something and be efficient with it. And so now you know you won't, and you know not to do that next time. So here is the next one. Okay, I see sort of a counterintuitive cross solution here. Really good one that's obvious, but let's see. Oh, I didn't even spot that. That's way better than what I saw. Okay, that was really good. Then you got blue and orange, very nice. Then you go into green and orange. But if I go back a second, it would be a little bit awkward, but you could do your green and orange pair. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. You could do your green and orange pair with the corner here and the edge solved without cube rotating. So you could do that, or you could do something fancy to avoid cube rotating. But I kind of understand cube rotating for this. I just probably would have done it the other way. So then you're solving this into the back, and you have your open pairs in the front. Then you've got this, and you spot that quickly. And then it's actually going to set up your next pair really nice as well. Then you do your OLL. And then you've got a G-perm.
That's GD, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, GD. So, have you gotten around to learning the algorithms or anything?
No, I haven't. I will say this. I've been very lazy.
Oh, well, I know
I meant to start learning stuff, but I got a new camera for Christmas, and so I've been learning a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah. Did you get the SL2?
No, I got the T6i.
Oh, nice. I mean, how is that?
Oh, it's real nice. I mean, it has a mic port and all that, so.
I mean, like, maybe that's just something weird I found in my research then, but I'm a big fan of the SL2 I have. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So I know that in the last session you had a competition coming up, and
Yeah.
I can understand not learning a bunch of algorithms right before a competition, but so now you can basically learn the G perms and the V perm whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start, cracking down and learning things in the next week or two.
And that'll be helpful. And I think once you know full PLL, then you can start working on OLL if you want, and it'll just open you up a little bit. Okay, you got a very easy cross here. Just R prime D2, R prime F2. Ooh, and was that? Can you do the D2 double flicks with your right hand?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I can't do that.
I can't do it with left.
Oh, I can only do it with left. And like that. Okay, so you do it with your A perms with your left hand, with your right hand as well.
No, I do A perms with left. That's why I can't do a D2.
So wait, when you're doing an A perm, you do the D2 with your left hand, but you don't double flick it?
No, yeah. I do it like a D and then another D.
Okay. Because I can only do it with my left hand, and that's for the A perms, and then it's useful for some other stuff for like one-handed and that kind of thing. And then it's actually really nice that you spot this pair right here, because there's not many other good options. And then that's solving that pair in the back left. And then that gives you this as an option here. You solve that, and it will set up this and set up that pair pretty well. So yeah, you spot that first. Solve that. And then here's the example of where using a sledgehammer could keep you from getting a .OLL.
Yeah, I see how it would work.
Yeah, and so that's something that can easily become a habit, and as you practice it more, you'll be able to just look at your last F2L case and then see whether or not you can use a sledgehammer. You can, without even needing to do the moves, you'll just know. Then you solve that. And then you get a V perm. And actually, the V perm might be more before the G perms, because with the G perms, then you also need to learn how to tell them apart quickly. But with the V perm, you just know it's a V perm.
Yeah.
So there's that solved. Okay, that you've got green and orange already set up. Okay, you've got a 3-move cross here. And that's very, very nice. Oh, I went forward. So you just do F2 R prime. F2 R prime D prime, and that gives you a free pair as well. Okay, so so I think you just didn't spot this free pair, which is, I mean, it worked out okay because that's still a pretty easy pair, but of course there's no easier pair than one that's already connected.
Yeah.
Okay, then you spot that, you fix it, and then you got this. That's very nice. And then you can connect that, and yep, you're going to use F moves. Very nice. And you recognized all that really quickly, which is very nice as well. Oh, and then a G perm. Oh, and okay, and this is the one you know. Your X very good. Your last layer there was nice. So let's go on to this one. So you've got a pair there, but looks like the other pieces aren't that great. Oh yeah, yellow is much better. You've got a 3-move cross on yellow. So you've been getting really nice crosses in this average.
That's that cubicle timer again.
Oh yeah. They don't. Are you sure you don't have some easy cross setting on or something?
Yeah.
Because I think that's 2 3-movers in a row.
I'll have to tell the cubicle that they need to get harder scrambles on their timer.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk to my guy maybe and figure something out. So, yep. And then blue and orange. Yeah. Okay, no, green and orange. So, from the angle you had before, from here, you can actually do the green and orange really easily. So, you do a U prime, move the orange over, and then R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R. And that will solve that pair. Which sort of saves this process of taking it out and then lining it up and then solving it. And then I think you're going to do, yep, you do green and red. That's the best choice in that situation. And then both of these are pretty easy. And this is a situation where you actually didn't have to rotate it again here. So you can just do U2 and then R prime U R and then U prime and then R will solve blue and red. And so that's basically doing the same thing you did there, just over a different slot. But then you go straight into that. Very nice. You get your pi OL again. And you get a T-perm this time.
Now, I normally can do the U2 and then a T-perm in under a second, but, you know, those being my first saws of the day, they wasn't very good.
Yeah, lockups are normal. These saws are actually kind of astonishingly good for being basically your warm-up solves.
I know, I couldn't believe it whenever I was getting all sub-20s.
I mean, what do you normally average now?
I'd say low 19s, mid 18s, maybe.
And that's pretty good, and I mean, this average of 12 is mid 18, so
Yeah,
I
mean,
nice.
I got a 19 and then an 18 in competition, so.
And yeah, good for you, man. So this cross looks a little bit more difficult, at least white does. The only thing I see for white is really counterintuitive. So let's see. I mean, that isn't perfect, but considering how difficult that cross was, I think that's fine. So then it's that, let's see. Okay, you're doing green and orange. So you pull that out there. And actually, like, that's probably the best way to solve that pair, and you didn't have that many great options there. But now both of the blue pairs are nice. Okay, you do that first, and then you got that. You spotted green and red first. So if I just go back a second. I'd say that, so doing blue and orange here, that's good. And then from this position, I'd say it's a lot better to do blue and red than green and red, just because you don't have to cube rotate for blue and red.
Yeah.
And then once you do green and red, then you will have to cube rotate back to do blue and red. It seems like you've gotten that OLL like 4 times in this average. Soon, and you're getting another end perm, unfortunately. Oh, and it looks like you accidentally did the wrong end perm and then had to do the H perm afterwards. I mean, but end perm in the first place, that means you're probably getting a bad time, so not a huge deal. I think this is the last one here, and then I'll go over some overall thoughts I have. So this one looks not too bad, but maybe yellow is easier. I'm not sure. So for cross here, okay, that's basically what I saw. That's probably what I would have done. So that's a good call. Then you've got blue and, okay, you're going to do green and red. So I think this is another case of you just seeing something and then going for it. So you've got your corner in its slot, and you've got the edge right here. 2 here, and then do RUR prime U prime. Then you've got that green and red pair set up to solve. So here you just, so instead of taking it out and then solving that, then that just saves some moves there. You've got blue and orange. Very nice. And then here's another case actually where if you move the corner, I mean, if you move the edge to right here instead of there, when you took it out, then it would have been set up to solve already. But that did end up setting up that pair, so that works pretty well. Solve that. Well, and then unfortunately a V perm. So that was that's all the average. So, like I said, you made a ton of progress and it's super clear. So you should pat yourself on the back for that one. And I'd say now there are a few issues that I'm seeing, and the main one seems to be like when you can't find something, you'll just start doing moves or cube rotating to either do something or look for whatever your next pair is. I'd say at the expense of efficiency is I think you're actually ready to start learning how to look ahead.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that means that you're not going to get lost like that as often, which means that there will be less, like, you'll know what to do at all times, and you won't have extra U moves or extra cube rotations in between steps because you'll be ready. And of course, to learn how to look ahead, it might mean that you have to turn slower to learn, but then you can start to turn faster again once you've gotten better at it. So I know learning to look ahead can be like a long and difficult process, but you know basically what it is, right?
Yeah.
So the only way to really start is just to first make sure that you can solve all of your basic F2L cases without looking at them, because that's the first part, and I'm 90% sure you can do that. And then you just need to practice, instead of looking at the F2L pair you're doing, look at other places around the cube to look for your next F2L pair. And that's the very, very basic idea of look ahead. There's other things you can do, like plan your first F2L pair in inspection that can make look ahead easier, but that's not really required.
I try to do that anyway, but I normally just get, lost in I screw up my whole cross and everything.
I'd say at your level, you only need to do that when your cross is really easy, and otherwise you don't really need to worry about it. But let's see. So the main situations where you can take advantage of not needing to pause or anything are, and this is something that's actually very, very common, is when you have two F2L pairs left and you don't need to cube rotate for either one of them. And so when you're in that situation, you should be able to spot your first one really easily. And then while you're doing that first one, look ahead to the second one, and then avoid any pauses or extra U moves in between the two F2L pairs. And so just having, being able to know that you can do two F2L pairs basically at once without any pauses, that can save a ton of time. And I think if you have any questions or issues with look ahead, feel free to ask me. It's like a big, complicated topic, and it's normal to need some help with it. But I think that should be your next big step. That, and like I mentioned a bit earlier, learning those last few PLLs.
Yeah, I think I got maybe 5 or 6 left.
You've got the V perm, 3 of the G perms, and I think that's it.
1 N perm.
Oh, okay. And the other N perm, there are a few things you can do. You can do the mirror version of that algorithm. You can do the same thing but with L moves instead, or you can learn another algorithm for it. But there's no real great options.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 5 of them left. So, do you have any questions or anything?
No, I don't.
Well, it's been good talking to you. I hope that your practice is going well, and I hope that this helped.
Yeah, it did.
Awesome.
Thanks, Brody.
Awesome. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Brody.
No problem.